where are the places that you do see a structural political problem, and what is it?
Yeah, I mean, well, lately I've been raising concerns about our coverage of
Gaza.
Israel, Gaza.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Simply because I think that we, at the moment, and there's a big discussion taking place about this, we say things in the voice of Wikipedia far more than we should. And I think that voice of Wikipedia, we really should have a very, very high bar for that. It's one thing, we should absolutely accurately report and no holds barred on, people saying this is a genocide, people saying it isn't, people saying whatever. But for us to take a side would require, in my view, near unanimity within the community. It's such an important thing.
So you're saying that on Gaza, you've taken Wikipedia voice?
Yeah.
Why have you done that? How has that happened?
There's a lot of reasons, and I'm still just digging into it. So, I think there's some structural, it's really, now we're going to get super wonky about Wikipedia, but it has to do with the way the discussion, we do something called an RFC, which is like a debate discussion, not a vote exactly. The way it was closed.
A request for comments?
Request for comment, yeah. The concept of Wikipedia is you want to have consensus around pretty much every edit, and that's kind of the basis for Wikipedia. But what does consensus really mean? And that gets complicated. So let's say you've got a binary choice, like which photo of the Eiffel Tower, we're going to have this one or that one. So somebody may start an RFC and people start giving their opinions. And in that, eventually, just to stop an edit war, somebody will close the discussion and say, okay, we're going to go with this. And probably for something like that, it's not massively important one way or the other.
You don't know the French very well, Jimmy.
Yeah, well, the 60% would be fine. And the 40% will go, yeah, okay, fine. Most people seem to prefer the other one, so I'm going to let it go. So that's enough for consensus.
Hard to see that on Gaza.
Hard to see that on Gaza. But one of the techniques and one of the really valuable things that we do, and actually there's a great example of this, and in our article about abortion, Wikipedia can't say abortion is a sin, and it can't say abortion is a fundamental right of women. But what it can say is the Catholic Church position on abortion is thus and such, and the Pope has said this, and critics have responded that, and It sounds like a Wikipedia.
Because you're trying to be a resource.
And that's exactly what it says. It's really wonderfully written, and you say, this is balanced. This is, because we don't try to answer the question or take a side, we just describe the debate. And so, where that gets tricky is okay, well, where do we draw the line and say well, actually there isn't any actual real debate. Consensus doesn't necessarily have to mean unanimity, but it should be pretty close, particularly if it's a really important issue. And so that's the conversation we're having is can we relook at how are consensus decisions being made when you're closing an RFC and things like that. So yeah. You're on the cutting edge of Wikipedia.
So what is the Wikipedia voice on Gaza right now?
Yeah, right now it says that what's going on in Gaza is an ongoing genocide,
which is clearly one side, one specific side of the discussion.
I've been searching. There are no major news services anywhere. Reuters, the BBC, nobody is in their own voice saying this is a genocide, and they do say that about other things. And so that people of good faith have not been able to participate. So these things are going to change, I'm confident. But it's important to know, my role in Wikipedia is I'm not the editor-in-chief. I can't make these things happen, but I can coach people, remind people, convene people. And I think there's a lot of people in the community who are we've gotten, through a series of circumstances, we've gotten to a place that isn't great. And we really need to look at a lot of the processes and figure out how do we get here, because it's not living up to what Wikipedia should be doing.